Kenya, officially the Republic of Kenya, is a country in Eastern Africa. With a land surface area of 580,367 square kilometers, Kenya is the world's 48th largest country by total area. With a population of 53.7 million people as of 2020, Kenya is the 27th most populous country in the world. Kenya's capital and largest city is Nairobi, while its oldest city and first capital is the coastal city of Mombasa. Kisumu City is the third largest city and also an inland port on Lake Victoria. Other important centers include Nakuru and Eldoret. As of 2020, Kenya is the third largest economy in sub-Saharan Africa after Nigeria and South Africa. Kenya is bordered by South Sudan to the northwest, Ethiopia to the north, Somalia to the east, Uganda to the west, Tanzania to the south, and the Indian Ocean to the southeast. Welcome to Positive Africa and thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and turn on the post notification bell icon in order not to miss out on any of our informative and educational videos about the continent of Africa. Before we dive deep to discover the people, economy, culture, climate and lots more of Kenya, let's first check out some quick facts about this country. The people of Kenya are divided into three language groups, namely the Bantu, Nilo-Saharan, and Afro-Asiatic. Bantu is by far the largest, and its speakers are mainly concentrated in the southern third of the country. The Kikuyu, Kamba, Meru, and Nyaka peoples occupy the fertile Central Rift Highlands, while the Luhya and Gusai inhabit the Lake Victoria Basin. The Nilo-Saharan, represented by the languages of Kalenjin, Lua, Masai, Samburu, and Takuna, is the next largest group. The rural Luo inhabit the lower parts of the Western Plateau, and the Kalenjin-speaking people occupy the higher parts of it. The Masai are pastoral nomads in the southern region bordering Tanzania, and the related Samburu and Takuna pursue the same occupation in the arid northwest. The Afro-Asiatic peoples, who inhabit the arid and semi-arid regions of the north and northeast, constitute only a tiny fraction of Kenya's population. They are divided between the Somali, bordering Somalia, and the Oromo, bordering Ethiopia. Both groups pursue a pastoral livelihood in areas that are subject to famine, drought, and desertification. Another Afro-Asiatic people is the Borji, some of whom are descended from workers brought from Ethiopia in the 1930s to build roads in northern Kenya. In addition to the African population, Kenya is home to groups who immigrated there during British colonial rule. People from India and Pakistan began arriving in the 19th century, although many left after independence. Substantial number remain in urban areas such as Kisumu, Mombasa, and Nairobi, where they engage in various business activities. European Kenyans, mostly British in origin, are the remnants of the colonial population. Their numbers were once larger, but most immigrated at independence to Southern Africa, Europe, and elsewhere. Those who remain are found in the large urban centers of Mombasa and Nairobi. The Swahili, mostly the products of marriages between Arabs and Africans, live along the coast. Arabs introduced Islam into Kenya when they entered the area from the Arabian Peninsula about the 8th century AD. Although a wide variety of languages are spoken in Kenya, the lingua franca is Swahili. This multipurpose language, which evolved along the coast from elements of local Bantu languages, Arabic, Persian, Portuguese, Hindi, and English, is the language of local trade and is also used along with English as an official language in the Kenyan legislative body, the National Assembly, and the courts. Kenya is made up of diverse plant life. Although the Indian Ocean coasts are forests containing palms, mangroves, teak and sandalwood trees. Baobab, euphorbia and acacia trees dot the lowland plateaus, while extensive tracts of savanna interspersed with groups of acacia and some temperate forests characterize the terrains of the highlands. The higher alpine zone contains giant senecio and lobelia shrubs. Kenya is known for the great variety of its wildlife and is especially famous for its big game animals associated with the African savanna. The major big game species include animals such as elephants, rhinoceros, zebras, giraffes, lions, and other big cats. Although many of these species are protected in national parks and game reserves, hunters have severely reduced the number of large mammals in Kenya, particularly elephants and rhinoceros. It should be noted that Kenya's rhinoceros are critically endangered. Birds including ostriches, flamingos and vultures abound in Kenya, as do reptiles such as pythons, mambas and cobras. Kenya lies on the equator and has a pleasant tropical climate, but there are large regional climatic variations influenced by several factors including altitude. Kenya's daytime temperatures average between 20 degrees centigrade or 68 degrees Fahrenheit and 28 degrees centigrade or 82 degrees Fahrenheit, but it is warmer on the coast. Kenya is too close to the equator to experience a real winter and summer. There is, however, both a dry and wet season. The dry season usually runs from June to October, and during this season, daytime temperatures are usually around 23 degrees centigrade at higher altitudes such as the Masai Mara, and 28 degrees centigrade or 82 degrees Fahrenheit at lower altitudes such as the coastal areas. The sky is clear and days are sunny. These are often characterized as the coldest months of the year. Early morning temperatures at higher altitudes are typically around 10 degrees centigrade or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. It is always advisable to dress in warm clothing during this period. During this period, there is very little rain in most parts of the country. The wet season usually runs from November to May. During this season, daytime temperatures are between 24 degrees centigrade and 27 degrees centigrade at higher altitudes. At lower altitudes, daytime temperatures are more consistent and usually hover around 30 degrees centigrade. Between November and December is a period of unpredictable short rains that lasts about a month. The rain is sometimes heavy, but mostly falls in the late afternoons and evenings. From January to February, a dry spell in the rainy season occurs with less rainfall. How long the spell lasts and when it takes place exactly is unpredictable. From March through April to May, see the most of rainfall. It's usually very cloudy, especially in the highlands. Humidity is higher and will be particularly noticeable in the coastal regions. Since independence was achieved in 1963, Kenya's economy has contained both privately owned and state-run enterprises. Most of the country's businesses are in private hands with a large amount of foreign investments, but the government also shapes the country's economic development through various regulatory powers and parastatals. The main aim of this policy is to achieve economic growth and stability, generate employment, and maximize foreign earnings by achieving high levels of agricultural exports while substituting domestically produced goods for those that have been imported. For a decade after independence, this policy showed great promise as rising wages, unemployment, and government revenue provided the means for expanding health services, education, transportation, and communication. But problems that arose with the rise of global oil prices in 1973 have been aggravated by periodic droughts and accelerating population growth, and Kenya's economy has been unable to maintain a favorable balance of trade while addressing the problems of chronic poverty and growing unemployment. The country's ability to industrialize has been hampered by, among other factors, limited domestic purchasing power, shrinking government budgets, increased external and internal debt, poor infrastructure, and massive governmental corruption and mismanagement. In an effort to decrease its dependence on volatile agricultural markets, Kenya attempted to diversify its exports in the last decade of the 20th century, adding horticultural products, clothing, cement, soda ash, and fluorspar. The country also made the export of manufactured goods such as paper and vehicles a priority. Domestic restrictions on imports have been removed slowly, however, and its policy has been only partially successful. Kenya's economy, which did not grow at a constant rate during the last 2 decades of the 20th century, continued to be dominated by the external market. Tourism and agricultural exports are still the major source of foreign exchange for the country in the early 21st century. As it is true of many developing African countries, there is a marked contrast between urban and rural cultures in Kenya. Attracting people from all over the country, Kenya's cities are characterized by a more cosmopolitan population whose tastes reflect practices that combine the local with the global. Nairobi's nightlife, for instance, caters to youth interested in music that varies from American rhythm and blues, hip-hop, and rock to Congolese rumba. The city contains movie theaters and numerous nightclubs where patrons can dance or shoot pool. For children, there are numerous water parks and family amusement centers. For all the modernization and urbanization of Kenya, however, traditional practices remain important. Rituals and customs are very well documented. The undeniable most common Kenyan food staple is ugali, usually made from cornmeal that is added to boiling water and heated until it turns into a dense block of cornmeal paste. Ugali has the consistency of a graining dough and the heaviness of a brick. For many Kenyans, ugali along with a small amount of cooked vegetables or sausage stew is a normal meal. Dive down to explore more about the African continent from this playlist. Remember to subscribe to Positive Africa and don't forget to share what you enjoy or don't enjoy about this video in the comment section below. Continue being positive, God bless you, and see you in the next video.